600 euros per month. At the end of the year, that's around like maybe 20,000 euros a year. Where will I find that? So even let's say like, and welcome back to my channel. Okay, so today I'm going to be talking to you guys about my dream of owning a cake shop. Yeah. So for the longest time, I've always felt like when I have enough money, when I start to make more money and stuff, I'm going to open a cake shop. I still feel that way, but I'm at this point now where I feel like, is opening a cake shop even worth it in 2024? Yeah. I don't know if you get what I mean. Because if you're thinking about the fact that now if you have a cake shop, you have to worry about the overhead that you already worry about when you're at home as a home baker. And I live in Dublin. Dublin is super expensive, like super expensive. You can't get a shop for less than $2,500. Am I kidding, babe? You
4,000.
4,000. Like if you want, of course, you know where you can't just
Good
go
location.
open a shop anywhere. If you want a shop in a good location, a place that has, you know, really good foot traffic, because you know, if you're opening a shop and there's no foot traffic, what are you doing, right? So a place that has really good visibility, really good foot traffic, and people will be able to see you, you're going to need at least 4,000 euros, if not more, right? And you've not thought about the other things like paying the bills of that place and paying somebody to stay there, like maybe like a shop, like a shop sales girl or something. Let's even say you don't want to do that, you want to do it all by yourself. Do you know what it takes out of you? I feel like I see a lot of bakers, right? I'm not being judgmental here because, to be honest, I want a cake shop. If I could afford a cake shop, I would have a cake shop. But at this point, I feel like, is it really worth it? Like, what am I going to have to give up to have a cake shop? Because if you think about it, yeah, I bake from home, yeah, as most bakers do. Most of you bake from home as well. You pay your rent, you pay your light bill, you pay your water bill, you pay your environmental cleaning bill, you pay, you know, basically your overhead, right? If you're going to have a shop, now, aside from the things you pay at home, guys, you're going to have to move somewhere else and pay that same amount, like that kind of bill again in another place. And if you're talking about a cake shop, of course you don't just want to open a cake shop and let it look a mess. You want it, at least for me, like the dreams I have about what my cake shop will look like is it to look like a pink heaven. I'm not even kidding you guys. You won't be able to see the roof from what's in my head. It will be like fluff, kind of like cotton wool kind of fluff and pinkish. So that's what the roof will look like. And so when people come inside, there'll be like pink seats for them. And boys that don't like pink, stay away. You don't need to come into my cake shop, right? So like there need to be these cute little stools that like are custom made that kind of look like cupcakes. They don't need to be comfortable, they're just cute. They just need to be cute. And then people can sit down and they can have, of course now I'm also going to sell coffee and tea, so you can have it with your cakes and pastries and stuff. I'm also going to maybe include croissants, so like people that like, you know, like don't have a sweet tooth, more like salty stuff, so that people can just walk in and be able to get some certain things, and maybe some popcorn and ice cream. Oh, it's not like a cake shop now, it has a bunch of stuff in it. Anyways, like when you come into the cake shop I have in my head, guys, you won't want to go home. Anyways, yeah, I feel like in 2024 is a cake shop really worth it at this point? And I see a lot of people closing down. Like it will be weird to, you know, tag them or, you know, say their names. I see a lot of people that had cake shops, and like I feel like the game has changed since like 2018 till now. Now like things are just foolishly expensive. Regular people can't even afford regular stuff.
Things.
You said what?
COVID changed things. For
Yeah, I feel like COVID kind of just made everything worse. And even after COVID, like things just continually go worse. If I open a cake shop right now, I can't afford a cake shop right now, to be honest, yeah. Aside from the overhead, you also have to think about like in the morning, you know, in the morning when I wake up, I come here, when I wake up, I do my chores, I clean, and then I start to do my cakes for the day. I just, you know, come here and start to do my cakes for the day. In the case of a cake shop, if you don't have a sales girl, which is another whole to do my cakes for the day. In the case of a cake shop, if you don't have a sales girl, which is another overhead, and this is Dublin, you can't pay somebody less than 1,600 euros per month. At the end of the year, that's around like maybe 20,000 euros a year. Where will I find that? So even let's say like, okay, I don't want a sales girl because I can't afford it, so I'm going to be the salesperson. So as soon as I wake up in the morning, I'm going to go there and go bake and do all of my stuff there, decorate and have people walking. You can't be baking cakes and decorating when people walk in. How do you serve them? How do you service? You need a sales. You can't do it without a sales girl. Except maybe you won't bake and decorate the regular things you already do. You just want a shop. No, but it should be a cake shop. They should be able to order custom cakes and you should be at the back, making the cakes, decorating them. So like, when you bake, the smell of the cake kind of brings people in. Like I have an old vision in my head. It's just that the money is not in the pocket. Like I know if you give me the money now, I can produce it for you. I know what I want. Anyways, it means in the morning when I wake up, I have to dress up, kind of like going to work and go to the cake shop. And you're going to be there from morning till night. Except you have a sales girl. I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think? Especially if you live in Europe, I feel like most bakers can afford a cake shop. Except you're making like bastard money, which I am not making yet. But I feel like most bakers can afford a cake shop, especially for me. I feel like when I get to the point where like I can earn about maybe 4 times in profit what I put into the business, then you can afford a cake shop. Because if you have a cake shop, you need to be able to, it's not immediately you open the shop, people will start to buy and flock it. You need to be able to float that cake shop for at least 6 months. That's the only way you have enough data to know like, is this working or is it not? So that you don't maybe close in 2 months or in 3 months because you can't afford it. If you can't float it for 6 months, personally for me, I feel like you can't afford it. And for me right now, I can't float a cake shop for 6 months. No. I feel like it's not financially wise, it's not smart. But if you live in a place like Nigeria, you can float a cake shop. Let me tell you why. Because number one, rent is not ridiculous. You can look at a place and decide to go pick the place that your money can afford. I don't know if you understand it. And let's say for example you live in Lagos right now, yeah, and you decide you want to have a cake shop. If maybe you decide, okay, this though I have 5 million or 10 million to spend on a cake shop, just pick according to your size. If you want to spend 1 million on rent, you find the shop where it is 1 million on rent. If you want to spend 5 million on rent, you will find the place where it is 5 million on rent. So it depends on how much, but I feel like in Dublin you don't really have that range. You can't be lower class, you have to be middle class or upper class. And the price to like be able to float it and be able to, for example, now if you want a sales girl in Nigeria, you can get somebody who pay 80,000 per month. That's the honest truth. They are not maybe like you can get somebody who pay 100, 150,000. And for me, I feel like of course you can get somebody who pay 30,000, but you want to employ people and let them be happy to be employed, at least to some extent. You're not maybe Google or but you want to be an employer that pays at least a livable wage to some extent, at least for me. So if you're going to employ somebody in Nigeria, at least pay them like 150, 120. Let them to be able to, afford basic stuff. You might not be able to do 200, but at least a sales girl doesn't have to be somebody overqualified. It can even be somebody that just, finished secondary school. Somebody that's looking for, something to keep them, do you understand? Somebody that's not expecting too much kind of thing. But you can't really do that in Dublin. Like 20,000 euros a month, that's what you're going to have to need to pay to somebody that's a sales girl. And you've not talked about rent, you've not talked about the other bills, you've not even talked about the cost of the ingredients to make the cakes. You've not talked about the cost to furnish the thing that is in my head. Because if you're going to have a cake shop, have a worthwhile cake shop. Don't have a cake shop that looks like a pub. Like a Dublin pub. Sorry, Dubliners. Anyway, you get what I mean? You want it to be bright and airy, not like dark inside. You want it to look like, cake, candy, pink, pretty heaven. Anyways, I think this video is more about a rant, the fact that I can afford a cake shop. So if you're watching this video, can you afford a cake shop? Do you think it's just best to sell your things, open a website, sell your things on Instagram, sell them on Facebook, sell them on your website instead of having a cake shop? Or maybe it will get better, but right now I feel like if you have a cake shop, make sure you can float it for 6 months. Otherwise you can't afford it. You're just living beyond your means. Anyways, so if you have any comment on this video, if you have anything you'd like to add to it, please leave me a comment in the comment section. And do you think or maybe you think maybe cake shops are kind of like obsolete, which I don't think they are. I think there's a time and a place for everything. But I feel like right now, because we have so many avenues for you to be able to take orders and for you to make money, make sure that you're making enough money to be able to float that cake shop for at least 6 months. So you can have enough data to know that, okay, well, I've struggled for 6 months, but it will get a lot better, or maybe it will never get better. That way you have enough time to be able to know, like, should I go on, should I close? But it's not a gamble I'm willing to do at this time, because it's not a gamble I can really afford to do, basically. So I don't know, but I still want a cake shop. So if you're an investor, you want to give me like maybe 50, will 50 do it? Yeah, 50,000 euros will do it. Like 50,000 euros, and you don't need to start collecting profit back until maybe after like 2 years. I'm ready to look into that. I'm ready to. Anyways, thank you so much for always watching my video, guys, and I will see you. I hope you enjoyed this one. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.